to spread culture and truth to the benighted. This is our commitment and burden. How's Sarthos? Great how's Drez roleplay? Come, share the burden with us.
Hi, I'm the Human Floyd, and you're watching Scrollplay. Scrollplay is the Elder Scrolls roleplay show, and today we're wrapping up Season 1. Season 2 will be in early 2015, and with it will be some changes. And I want you guys to be part of those changes, so I've created a poll, and there's a link to it in the description below. There's all sorts of questions about it, and a couple spots for you just to write in whatever you want to say. I really genuinely want your opinions on it so that I can help improve the show. That's always what we're going for, right? So let your voice be heard. The link is in the description. I have 2 new videos out. Let's roleplay in the EU Daggerfall Covenant Part 1 and Part 2. I kind of want to at least get to a point where it feels like the story is at least at a stopping point before I move on from EU DC to other things. But eventually, that show will cover other MMOs as well as Elder Scrolls Online. And thank you to my patrons for helping make that happen. There's going to be new episodes in the future as I reach my milestone goals on Patreon. I'm two $1 pledges away, or one $2 pledge away from my next milestone goal. So patreon.com/thehumanfloyd. Blah, blah, blah. My new microphone is coming, and it will be here for Season 2, so that will be awesome as well. So a lot has happened since ESO came out, over 6 months ago now. Gosh, was it 8 months ago? It's been a while, not just with the game itself, but the community as well, and I think it's cool we kind of have some, roleplay backstory going on of so much roleplay that has already happened. It's like we're just developing our own little alternate universe. In any case, Knight's Knight, Morriel, and Mav of the OP cast are here on the show today, and we're going to reminisce about all that has happened so far in the Elder Scrolls community this year. We're also going to talk a bit about how their podcast, ESO RP, link in the description below, got its start. So chill out, sit back, and reminisce with us. Welcome to Scrollplay, my friends. It's good to have you guys on. So we have with us here, you guys can just do your normal OP cast order, I guess.
This is Knight's Knight.
And this is Morriel.
And I'm Mav.
Oh, that was beautiful. I love it.
She was practicing before the show.
Yeah, we spent 30 minutes on it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Perfected, didn't you tell?
Oh, yeah. So,
Am I allowed to vape on this?
yeah, you can vape on this all you want. This is the chillest Scrollplay ever. Normally, like, everybody tells me, they're like, Scrollplay is so serious business, and, like, I think people kind of like that about it, but, like, this time we're changing it up.
I feel like this is what we get.
Oh, it's gonna devolve very fast.
Yeah, this is what we get.
This is what you get for
Floyd.
involving us.
Yes.
Well, no, this is what we get for making Floyd go on our really weird episodes.
We're like the Charlie Sheen and Mike Piazza of ESO RP, like the roleplay scene.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to be talking about today, the roleplay scene. But before I want this to be like a just, year in review episode, so we'll just talk about like the roleplay that we've done and like maybe some of the guilds that we've been involved in and stuff like that. But first, I really want to hear about how the ESO RP podcast and how OPcast in the first place got started, because it just sort of appeared one day and I was like, oh, sweet, and had never met you guys before.
That was kind of actually how it just started.
Yeah.
It was just like...
It just magically came into existence.
Yeah. So I think the very first thing is I was listening to Tales of Tamriel, and I was just like, well, this doesn't have any role play. I want to listen to role play stuff. And I couldn't find a single Elder Scrolls show, and I still don't think there is one that is centered around lore and role play. And so I think we have a monopoly in that sense on it. And but basically how it got started is I was in the Latticel, whatever the lights of
Descents of
Latticel.
Latticel.
Yeah,
Descents of Latticel.
It's so unimportant now.
He
that I can't
doesn't
remember
even
the
know.
name. So, anyways, I was like, hey, I want to do this podcast, right? I posted in the forums. I was like, basically, who's with me, basically? And Morriel was like the only one that responded. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And like, I didn't know at the time Morriel at all, right? Because she was in Germany. Sorry, cat. And
Evil cat, Fluffy.
And so Morriel came into the fold, and we started recording the first episode, I think, all the way back in like beginning of August. And it's just been, we're on our, just record our 26th episode with our newest host, Nate Lingston from Bloomberg.
Yeah,
And
so cool.
Huge, awesome guy, very nice. Part 2 of Dwarven Lore. But yeah, I mean, anything you want to fill in on that, Morriel, as far as ESO RP?
Probably the part that like I had no idea what I was getting into when I like joined this. So at the time I was like at this week-long conference with BMW, off doing like software stuff, and through the like sketchy internet that like sometimes worked, sometimes didn't, I saw there's this message on the forums, and it was like, hey, I want to do podcasts. I'm like, well, I've like listened to podcasts before. I can probably like talk about things. And literally that's what I was thinking. So I joined this and had no idea what I was getting into. And then we just did the first episode.
And it's evolved, right? It's not just ESO RP, and this kind of came into play when we had Haloran in with us, right? Because Haloran was part of the fold for, I mean, a good 5 or 6 episodes before he wanted to part ways with us. It was sad to see him go because I think it was a good dynamic. But how it is now, I think it's awesome. I wouldn't change the current lineup for anything. And it's now we're OPcast that broadcasts ESO RP, right? So we're morphing into this gameplay. Think IGN with a little bit more like flair and more like community like involvement, right?
Yeah.
So what if IGN had beautiful people in their cast besides that one lady with Chobot? Besides her, because she's gorgeous. I think she's off doing her own thing now. Now we have this blonde on there that was not nearly as beautiful as Chobot, but that's a different story.
Not nearly.
Yeah. And anyways, like, so basically that's what we're going for. We're aiming for that. We're going to be on Kickstarter soon.
Sweet.
We're going to be launching on there, try to get some capital, because we're going to try to go to events, do live recordings of shows. I say something's going on in San Fran. Morriel, here's a ticket. Cover something that's going on at E3.
We're going to be the cosplayers in character that are there.
So, I don't know.
I mean,
if
I've
Come
done
to
cosplay,
conquer
to
thine
be fair.
land.
I am here to take your interview from you.
Yeah, and then
Avast!
Mav came into the fold. Mav actually was one of the first responders on the TSORP forums when we first posted about our first episode that we did. And she's kind of been like this unofficial, like, lurker.
I am an awesome lurker.
I'm just kidding, not a lurker. An awesome, like,
the lurk.
unofficial member, right? And then finally we were like, after time and time again of me begging her, and I think literally it was begging. I think I groveled to you. Did I not grovel to you?
You're like, Mav. Mav. Like, soon. I was like, I don't know. I gotta go do an event. Bye!
Or not even that. Sometimes I wouldn't even get a response. Like, I got the dead air silent from Mav, like, on numerous occasions, and I would hit her up on Engine, I'd hit her up on Skype, and then in-game.
I see you online.
Yeah.
Wherefore art thou, Mav? Where art thou?
Where art thou? But yeah, so Mav is actually short stint with us. She's gonna be heading up one of our featured shows for OPcast, OP Talk. That's gonna be like her flagship thing. Is that she's a star? That's where she belongs, you know.
Probably.
Careful now.
So, tell me a little bit about OPcast. Like, what are you? Is that just gonna be anything like random?
No, we have tunnel vision on this project. It's gonna be big. I mean, we're gonna be doing game reviews. So basically, like, think, like I said again, like IGN, right? Right now the site is op-cast.com. It's good for what it is right now, posting our content and little reviews that we put up. We recently started a Dragon Age podcast called The Inquisitioners. That's actually going to get axed, and we're keeping ESO RP because I think for us that kind of started the thing. RP is like really close to us, and I want to keep an RP show because that's a whole entity in itself. Totally. Like, no matter what you do, even if you're not even into Elder Scrolls right now, if you stumble upon our podcast and listen in, you're gonna get your RP fix, right? Yeah. So I think it's a staple that we need to keep.
Even if it's a facepalm moment.
Yeah.
With horrible on-point voice acting.
It's not going anywhere, but yeah.
What are you saying about my voice acting?
We just capture people. It's fine. It's, you know.
We've come a long way.
Morriel does.
Come on. A long way since we started with Morriel. I mean, we now have 5 members in OPcast. We have Mav, Sunny, which if she's actually just filled in for Mav on this episode of ESO RP, and Morriel. She did double host duty, and so yeah, Mav, Sunny, Pink.
Okay, keep count.
Well, yeah, I can't even count. Huh? But anyways, Pink. You haven't heard of Pink ever unless you're on site here in the streams because she's going to be heading up OP Talk with Mav. Because if you ever met this lady, she is as big as a personality as you can ever meet. And I didn't want to stick her behind a microphone because, like, she needs to be seen. She's, like, so animated and funny that, like, she just needs to be out there, you know?
Nice.
So, I mean, it's coming along. It's going.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, I still listen to every episode of ESO RP. I'm like 3 behind right now. But
what's your favorite episode that you ever listened to besides the ones that you were in?
Well, obviously the
ones he's been on, I've been so close to my favorites because they're just so much fun. They're just so much fun.
Wait, you have to do it because, like, no one could see you on the podcast.
Oh, that's right.
But
and I was like,
yeah, you were.
He was like, So if you missed the 24-hour stream, that's basically what happened.
Oh, that was on the 24-hour stream. Oh man, that was.
Oh my goodness.
That was intense. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, we streamed for like 20 hours straight, and it was really
That literally, but I think that brought us so much closer because that literally, I mean, we were stuck with each other.
We're going through
for 24 hours. Okay, 22, 3 hours, whatever.
I think my favorite part about
was
the
more
whole
like 18.
Yeah.
My Cards Against Humanity was like the total winner of that stream. I love playing that with you guys.
It was super fun, yeah.
I was just like, hey guys, I know it's Cards Against Humanity thing. Let's play that.
I think to talk about all kinds of things that are inappropriate.
Yeah.
Once again, not knowing what I was getting into with you people.
It's a trend, I can see.
Yeah.
Bad decisions. That name is Morriel. Or great decisions.
That's right. I just think I don't know. Our live streams have always been so much fun because like I'm really not a whole lot of a drinker, but I just like I'm like I'm live streaming.
Oh, when he has a white Russian, you better watch out.
We're talking about his drink here, not his girlfriend.
That's right, or your wife.
Or my wife. Yes. Like, would we get them mixed up if we sat next to each other? Like, whose white Russian is whose?
I hope not.
I put a marker on mine.
Best in show.
Mine has an F on it.
Oh, Vanessa.
Let's hope she never sees this.
She won't. She thinks I'm the biggest nerd ever.
I'm glad that my girlfriend thinks
She can't
I'm a
even
nerd,
say
but
anything
accepts
because
it.
she played video games with you. She can't even talk.
No, I mean, she plays video games, but like, when you get into like this hardcore, she's like, nah, you're a nerd.
No, I'm out.
Let me have your lunch money, nerd.
Yeah, role-playing is like a world of its own. It's crazy. It's, it's just so set apart from everything else, you know?
Bring it to the keyboard, you can bring it to the bedroom, you can bring it to the shower, anywhere.
Yeah.
It's universal.
I bring it everywhere.
All the boys to the yard.
My role play
better than yours.
You're just in the shower and you're like, the river is clean.
Pure water.
I am moist
from
tonight.
sweet rain.
Washes with soap.
Washes with soap. Scrubs the grime.
Washes with Japanese blossom. Wait, Japanese cherry blossom.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Bath and Body Works products, by the way.
Oh, well, now we all
I
know
don't
that
get
you
that
shop at
hype.
Bath
You know what I
Really
smell
like
like
that.
now, don't you?
We'll
Next time,
just not mention Bath and Body Works while my girlfriend is like singing over there.
she's probably all excited now.
No, she's like got music in, but she bought one of the huge tubs of Bath and Body Works.
Oh.
It's really
Bath
good.
and Body Works and Pier 1 imports are like music to a woman's ears.
I don't know.
I don't get the Bath and Body hype. I don't get it.
I don't know.
Who knows?
The worst girl, though.
I told somebody once that I really enjoy an Epsom salt bath with a glass of wine and a book, and they were like, "That is the gayest thing I have ever heard."
That sounds totally comfortable. What are you talking about?
Right? Yeah, come on.
As I crush up Epsom salt and do lines.
Oh my
It'll
god.
improve your
The
roleplay.
secret is out.
The secret is out.
How do you think we come up with all these great ideas for shows? Come on.
Yeah.
Great idea.
All of Eminem's greatest hits were on acid. Just saying.
Yep. Before we get into that conversation, because that will take us places. Let's talk about the Elder Scrolls roleplay community this year. So that actually started before the game came out last January.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Stuff was
Some of
going
us
on
were
in this
around.
community, though.
What's going on with it?
Stuff was going on in this community before.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like a year before it came out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Were you guys around for that?
No.
Yeah.
All right. You're my lady.
Okay,
Maury, keep
I
going.
was.
Oh, I
I
guess-
was like 2-3 months before game came out. I was like,
Oh,
all
okay.
right, it's real.
That's legitimate.
I'll come to the community.
I came in
I'll
like
do
maybe
it.
2 weeks after the fact. Maybe 3.
Well, like about 6 months before, like I first found out about ESO, and all of my friends were like these huge ESO nerds, but they're like, "Well, nah, we don't want to play it. Sounds like it's terrible." And I was like, "Well, it should be okay." And one of my friends got me invite for one of the first closed betas.
Yeah, I
and
did not like
playing
the
it. I was just like, "Yeah, it's actually pretty good." But okay.
I like backed out
I mean,
so hardcore. I was like, this game sucks. But I can't even talk. It broke my wow.
Well, it was okay up until a point, and then they brought out the PvP part, so I was like, okay, I'll play.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I'll
They had
play.
like nothing for like the first couple betas, and I was just like,
I was pretty happy when they finally released Cyrodiil in the betas. That's all I did, like that
Yeah.
whole beta.
I remember my first beta, I was actually just playing this weird Nord chick who was like just dual wielding in medium armor back when it was terrible. And
Like hitting
it's just like
swords.
I was just like, man, this is so terrible. I just equip a resto staff and immediately I'm doing so much better.
Yeah.
That's still the thing.
Suddenly this is easy mode.
Maury, were you around on the Tesso RP forums at the time?
No, I was before Tesso's RP started, I was with Descents of Ladisel. We were in AD, doing kind of interesting kind of like Lightbringer Paladin kind of RP almost. And I only heard about TSRP fairly recently, like 3 months after I had joined, like been a part of the game.
Oh, okay.
Or more. I don't know when TSRP started.
It's been around. It's been around
for a while.
At least a year and a half before the game came out. Because I think.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So, but it was a much different community. That a lot of the people that were around are gone, and it's kind of funny how I've noticed a lot of these roleplay communities that start before the game. It's almost like everybody who
completely
was there,
different people now.
Yeah, everybody
They're just
who was
here for the pre-hype, and then they're gone. Yeah, it's
and
so
then
crazy.
there's people like you and me who just stuck out. It's like, okay, I know the game's not good right now, but it will be good.
Totally, and it's vastly improved.
Yeah, it was interesting, like, starting out, like, I didn't know anyone in the RP community. I didn't even know there was an RP community. I was just kind of doing stuff with my guild. I mean, like, there are points when, say, like, the Silver Order in AD started, like, making RP Alliance stuff, and
I remember
we were
that.
just kind of like, no, thank you.
Yeah, we were kind of
It's
buddies
like,
with that.
no. It really was this podcast that got me involved in the RP community. Because I was like, well, I need to find out about events and get people on the show and, you know, post a thread about our podcast. And
Yeah.
it's been a wild ride.
Yeah.
I played Mavic, and I literally started Emerald Empire the day before the pre-expansion. Like, Emerald Empire was like, we already had like 12 members before the game even launched.
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh my god, we had so many people following this crazy psychotic Bosmer chick who like threatened to eat people, because I had no idea, like, because you know, Bosmer people, I mean, they were unknown.
Totally.
So I sort of played like, I played in the dark. Like, I was just like, I'm a Godzilla, like.
Yeah, it's interesting how many people play. Like, I was actually talking to Ramus fairly recently. We were talking about, like, the Bosmer culture versus Dunmer culture. He says, yeah, a lot of Bosmers around here, even they're not supposed to be all, you know, gung-ho about eating people. They're just like, someone got killed, I guess I gotta eat them. Well, I'm like, that's not how that works.
It's funny what you were saying, Mav, about being in the dark, because there was so little Argonian lore. Like, before Elder Scrolls Online.
Like, there was nothing. Like, there's so much they still need to elaborate on. And, I mean, the map isn't even halfway open. Mm-hmm. Like, and they're slowly, like, one zone at a time. Like, that's going to take forever. But I'm glad they aren't. Yeah, I'm glad they aren't just like, here's everything. Have fun for a month. And then they're out. Like,
they can trickle it out to lengthen the gameplay.
So, let's hear some roleplay stories. I know you guys do this on your show, but we're supposed to be... Okay, let me put it this way. 2014, your best roleplay and your worst roleplay.
I could do this.
Let's start with Knight. What's your best roleplay?
My best roleplay, actually, I think my most recent appearance at Woodhearth. I packed...
That's a roleplay hub now, right?
God.
Woodhearth.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it was my best because it was the first time I really went out of my comfort zone, and I feel that I nailed it. It was the first time other people that were role-playing actually like told me like, wow, like I love your character.
Nice.
Like I could totally picture this character being in the game. I was like, sweet. I'm doing something good.
He's role-playing a Khajiit, and the Khajiit so I'm role-playing.
Yes.
I have to talk about this. I have to talk about this because I was actually really impressed.
Oh, nice.
We had our first Woodhearth open market, and I was there as my high elf. He sells wine and other spirits, everything basically. It's like, do you have this drink? Yes, I do.
Do you have these drugs? Yes, I do. Wait, who are you?
Well, that's go to the Khajiit next to him. But it probably about like 20, 30 minutes in, this Khajiit shows up, and he's just like, this one would like to sell here. It sells many shiny things. And he's just, go set up over there, we'll have your name down and stuff. And Khajiit just like, boxes being used. And he's like, well, no. And he jumps up on top of the boxes, like as a cat would, and just starts selling things. And it was as if you were talking to a Khajiit NPC. It was great.
I liked our interaction when I was trying to buy wine off you. I was like, just a sample.
He's like, this one would like to have sample before he buys. It's like, oh, okay, as long as you buy, here's a little bit. This one would like more samples.
No, this wine not taste very good. This one will try that one.
I was like, I make you a deal, yes? Khajiit will buy your wine for one more sample. I want to buy wine for brother, but I need one more sample. I promise you, I'll make deal.
Nice. That's awesome.
Such a Khajiit.
Yeah, and then my worst roleplay, I think, would have had to have been my character Knight's Knight. I mean, he was just an ass. I was very unrelenting in how I was role-playing him to like the rest of the other role players, and I think that for me that was kind of like a moment where it was like a learning moment, right? So you're like, well, obviously this isn't working out because it was taken very roughly, right, in stride by other people, and I was like, it was the way I was role-playing them, and it was kind of like a learning moment for me, like, not to do that, and you gotta, like, role-play's like a give and take, and I was given a whole lot of assness. That's a word. I'm going to coin it. I was giving a whole lot of assness to people as far as like being really gruff, unrelenting, very mean in my role play. But, and like in my mind, that's how I wanted him to be. But in the end, you just, it ruins the relationships between characters, and then you're stuck where people don't even want to RP your tune.
Right. Because
of his personality. And that's what I ran into with Knight's Knight. And I was like, I don't want to go through that again. So I think that was probably my worst roleplay.
I would say that it could happen differently. I think a lot of that probably had to do with the fact that you probably didn't know those people out of character too well. Because, like, I kind of have an asshole character, and people...
Well, no,
Oh, you did?
No, I was with Morriel with our whole guild. Yeah, like...
It was not the point that he was an asshole, it was that the character would not learn.
Oh, okay.
Is that, like, we're like, all right, if you keep doing this, we're going
to... They just kind of do what they want. And kind of just do whatever and no consequence. Consequences are good or bad. I mean, there's always something that happens to everything you do, even if it's something good. Right. So I think Knight is growing up. Right.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that can go either way. I mean, I think it really depends on, like, keeping open out of character communication too, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was part of my problem too, is I was getting defensive a lot, about my RP character, and I've learned from that too, to just kind of like take the criticism with stride, because you got to, because then no one's gonna ever want to RP with you. So like I said, I was learning, you know.
Because you pretty much just started. I mean, you said you did like a sort of a different form of roleplay before.
Yeah, it was like a free for all roleplay. Like we didn't have god modding rules. We didn't have any. It was just like a bunch of friends in Guild Wars 2, and we would just RP when we felt like it.
Totally.
Like if we were bored of doing a raid, hey, let's pretend to be people.
Totally, yeah.
That was it.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, role-playing, it takes a long time to figure out all of the little taboos and stuff like that, you know? Because there's a lot of little... Yeah, there's, like, all these unspoken things, like, oh, don't mix IC and OOC, don't god mod, don't power play, don't this, don't that. Like, it takes a long time to figure it all out. Like, I would say you're not really beyond the beginner stage until you've been role-playing for, like, a year. You know?
At least.
Yeah, at least. So.
Well, I'm speeding up the process by being with a bunch of fabulous role players. So.
Well, you kind of got like injected with like RP drugs when you started the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm learning a lot faster than I think I would have just on my own, just because I am around people that have been doing it for so long. I mean, there's Floyd, there's Mav, there's Morriel. I mean, Neopets, right?
Yeah.
And people that are
Neopets.
Neopets. Like, how can I not learn at an accelerated rate when you're RPing Neopets? Like, come on.
I mean, I try not to remember that RP because it was bad.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I still just... that's so crazy, though, that we were both in that same roleplay when we were, like, 13. It's so fucking crazy. So...
You find out about things.
Yeah. It makes me wonder how many people I have run into in, like, Elder Scrolls Online and WoW and stuff that I had roleplayed with a long time ago. You know? You never know. Shut up, dog.
Sorry, I won't say a word. I'll just put on my no-scope glasses. OPCast official sponsor.
I think I might get some of those because my eyes hurt so bad just from staring.
Well, yeah, because you know we've talked about how you RP. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
And Morriel, the ones that Knight has actually can hold your glasses up.
Oh.
See, like, it's always uncomfortable, though. It's like, because I have these big...
I'm gonna try that.
I'll send you the link to this girl that had really thick glasses on, and they kept them on.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Well, they actually do. I never even tried it. Thanks, Mav.
You've changed his life.
I can change your life. I can change it. I can change your life.
So yeah, I mean that's my RP. I mean probably we can go around the carousel.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Mav.
Sure, Mav. What's up?
Okay, the best RP I had was probably towards the end of Emerald Empire, honestly.
Oh yeah.
And because it literally went from amazing to the next day, no one came online, and it was right when a patch hit, and it was a shitty patch. Like, it was so bad, no one logged on.
Well,
and they still haven't logged on. Like, all my officers still haven't logged on.
That's
till today, not logged on since that moment. So I don't know.
There was like a wormhole in the roleplay world that day
because that was a void. That was so crazy. It was.
We used to have like 50 people in Descents of Latticel, and then suddenly 15.
It just dropped.
It was like
next day, no one showed up.
Active, and it just freaking flattened out. No one's still ever been on the game.
It was like maybe a month and a half, 2 months after the game came out, and everybody just like all at once disappeared. And everybody on Tesso RP and everybody on Engine was like, "Where is everyone?" It was like this like universal.
There's like this distress call that everyone was like pounding.
They tried to achieve Kim and
just
universe.
Kim.
They were like the Dwemer. They achieved godhood and they all just disappeared.
They all fell off.
Yeah.
But yeah, that happened. And so my worst RP would have to be my fat Khajiit. So she's really fat.
What about this fat Khajiit?
Yeah, I need to hear about this.
And she's very gluttonous. And there was like this legit RP with her. And she, like, the fattest setting, the roundest setting, the fluffiest setting, the biggest eyes, the biggest face, and she was so cute. I think I still have her. But I went through this like 2-hour-long RP fighting with one of my friends for one of my other friends' tune, and it was trolling. But then like the emotes got longer and longer and longer, and it was just I don't really like to remember that time.
It was a sad time.
It was so weird. Nope.
Funny. All right.
She would like smack people with her belly and their faces and stuff. And,
that doesn't sound like bad roleplay. That sounds awesome.
And she would like sit on their heads and like rub their face with her tail, and she would just be like, "I need more milk." And it was just really weird. Okay, that's how weird it got.
I just picture this like fat Roman goddess, just, like
Yes.
eating grapes.
It was so weird.
For me, I've been doing a lot of roleplay in the sense of myself. Back before we left and formed the kind of the Shadow Phoenix, we had 2 guild leaders. Basically, we had one, and then he picks someone as their successor when he left during the great drop off of 2014. And
True.
His character was having some kind of like romance subplot, and my character ended up getting involved in it, and eventually started to get to the kind of like bow chicka wow wow kind of part, and my character just went like nope and left. Literally just like jumps out the window and leaves. Which makes me wonder if it's like the best or the worst. Literally just went, "I'm not dealing with this," and just it's like the door is blocked, open the windows, jumps out. It was the one redeeming thing.
Oh.
Oh god, there's actually really good role plays, but one of the best ones is I have this ongoing storyline involving some alien nonsense, and as part of that, we were in Rulinel's Fall, and my character got essentially used by the worm cult in this ritual. Ended up going a little bit a lot crazy because of it for like basically had a psychotic break, and everyone almost ended up dying. Out of the like 4 or 5 people that walked into there, none of us walked out under our own power and character. And it was a very interesting like 5-way fight in the middle of this dark ruin.
Oh, nice.
So it was interesting.
That's very cool. I was just thinking about what you're saying about role-playing with other groups and stuff like that. And it's funny how quick these sub-communities form. You know, you get like these guilds and everybody knows each other and everybody is friends, and it becomes so almost cliquish really fast. And I know people use the word cliquish a lot, but you know, people develop little mini family units, and they get this mindset of, I am loyal to my guild, I am loyal to my friends, I am loyal to my guild, and I will protect them. And like, that's great, you know, loyalty to friends is an amazing human quality, but
loyalty to house and
yes.
I've run into
house and tribunal.
I've run into some of that loyalty where they were so loyal that they would not even RP with you.
Yeah.
Like I showed up to an event, like I would do a whole line of text, and I would get literally like a looks at or no or okay. Like literally, like I could count the words on 3 fingers that were being said back to me. Yet they would turn around and do like bam paragraph to someone else. I'm like,
yeah,
what is this? Like, and I just end up leaving. Like, I'm like, this is ridiculous.
I think that has a lot to do with like the us and them mindset, you know, that people just develop. It's like, oh, we're this guild and that's that guild. We're different, and we do things differently, and those are different people, and they're not our friends. And like,
it's really been hard to sort of fight against that mentality in AD. I know EP like sort of has long since gotten over most of that to do a lot of like cross guild roleplay. But in AD, it's still slowly sort of herding cats towards, you know, doing stuff together.
You know, it's just different with different groups of people. It'll happen at a different pace and stuff. But I think something just useful for people to remember is that we're all role players, and like
We're all people.
and we're all people. More importantly, like
We're all people.
oh, whoa.
People forget that though.
I don't know. I feel like I mean I've been role playing since Neopets when I was 13, and and it's amazing how I feel like the roleplay community has grown up a lot. I feel like when I was playing in World of Warcraft, there was so much more drama and so many more conflicts and stuff.
Well, there's
like that.
so much more people in WoW too. Like
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
there's, oh, jeez.
Yeah. But still, I feel like overall people have like kind of matured a little bit, and they've gotten over a lot of that kind of stuff, and they are realizing like, hey, you know, it's we're all trying to roleplay and we're all trying to have fun, and we're slowly making progress in making the outside world more aware of roleplay and like getting more people in and getting you know a little bit more, I guess, legitimacy behind the idea of roleplaying. And like I've seen it happen just since ESO has come out, and I've seen like there's like, you know, it's kind of scary.
It's been much better since. I think this game has a better community than any other RP game, and including WoW. And I mean, you guys have played it. I've played it for years, and it's just there's no unity point, I guess, other than like their forum base, which is fine, but not fine.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really been interesting to see the like almost sort of, I guess, death and rebirth of the RP community in ESO, because we started out like super strong, like so many ridiculous, like thousands of people, and then suddenly like halfway through you just drop off, and at that point I was just like, man, like nobody's RPing anymore. I don't see all these guilds that I used to know are gone. And then now it's you have like, though I think a lot of people kind of like left AD and DC and joined a lot of the like House Dunham RP and EP, but you're seeing a lot more people sort of like spread out among different factions and forum communities. It's interesting.
Yeah, and you know, when all those people disappeared in the Great Purge of 2014, like the thing that a lot of people were pointing out that I think is very valid is the people who stayed are worth a lot. You know, like we have so many incredible role players in this community that stuck around and that are going to be around as long as there's a roleplay community. So I think, honestly, I think ESO, as far as roleplay goes, is exactly where it needs to be right now. We have a great amount of people. We have so many cool guilds, all this collaboration going on. Like AD's starting to collaborate a lot more. EP's collaborating all the time. Like, I think it's great.
DC's got like Council of Daggers and RP Alliance stuff going on, which is cool.
I haven't heard of that. Council, is that like the new Pride
that's the new, since Pride of the Covenant went defunct. I think Council of Daggers is not so much directly on the Alliance war. It's a lot of, even if you're like not for the Covenant, it's an RP Alliance kind of thing.
Sweet. That's
so
great.
It's all more power to them.
Yeah. So, what else do you guys have for me? Any more thoughts or cool things that have happened, or not cool things that have happened?
Well, I guess for me, I just want to sort of mention how it's really been an interesting experience over the last like couple weeks, really, as I've gone from sort of being one of the leaders of like this, you know, medium-sized guild in Reaper's March to really working towards having like almost a community managing thing going on, where I'm working with other people to like make AD go from how it's currently kind of like really cliquish to having a really big RP community. And the people who've gotten involved with that, people like Forest Guardian, Favorin, Galian, people at the Twin Tails and all that, they've been a huge help. I think there's really is a desire in the Elder Scrolls RP community to sort of to come and get together and make something of ourselves instead of just sort of like splitting apart. We just need someone to kind of like push ahead, you know?
Oh, shout out to our new streaming page on opcast.com. Streamception, as Matt coins it.
His Streamception. There's like 4 streams at once. You really gotta mute that shit.
Yeah, I don't know if I can handle that.
Get on her level.
So it's what's the
His dog
address?
is getting on my level.
Well then, stay moist, as Nate says.
Alright, well, thanks for coming on, guys, and thank you, role-playing community, for sticking around this year. As, I can't remember who was saying this, but somebody was like, yes, 2E583, here we come. So, let's do it. Let's make next year just as awesome as this year. Thanks, guys. Peace. I always have fun hanging out with those guys. The live streams that I've done with them have been a lot of fun. You should check out the OPcast website. It's in the link in the description. And also the Mav Show, Mav's own YouTube channel. So both of those are in the description, and you should check them out and support them and help the roleplay community grow. To wrap up the show and the season, I will be reading Roshana and Igman's response to the character exercise. So this character exercise has been a little bit different than the previous ones. It started, if you click this link right here, it will take you to the spot in the episode where the question first started. And it's been sort of like a choose your own adventure. And the first 2 people to respond to it were Igmand and Roshana, so I've just kind of continued with them and their stories. So Roshana, after repeatedly telling this crazy old man to go see the guards about his cult problem that he claims exists, goes about her business, and then on her way out of the town that evening, she sees the old man telling somebody else that they're the one person from his vision that can help save the city from the cult. And the player of Roshana writes, Roshana just shakes her head, continuing on her way and probably returning to her camp. She has more important things to do than deal with someone who drank too deeply of Sheogorath's well. And it's probably for the best. Roshana has shown us that there are many paths to take, and some may be best not to take. Igmand's character within the cultist's lair reacts differently. The old man tells Igmand's character that he must kill him because his blood was used in the ritual, and it will disrupt the ritual and save the city. But he doesn't listen. Igmand writes, with a steady inhale, he deftly raises his bow, bringing his attention back to focus as he states with resolution, in all my time outrunning the ooze, I have come to learn that there's more than one way to skin a Khajiit. That was a bad Bosmer accent. The red-headed Mur then fires with meticulous aim, using the few arrows that he has. The cultists die by the Bosmer's arrows. The old man screams his protests, but can do nothing to stop him. The red-headed Mur would soon hear the old man's blubbering about how he was supposed to be the one to die, and how now he has no purpose. He will soon learn that the ritual that was being performed had very specific requirements. It required willing sacrifice to fool a stranger into killing him, which obviously didn't work out. What the red-headed Bosmer does now is up to Igmand. I have a feeling Igmand will be writing a response in the ESO RP forum thread, so go check it out. It's under Art and Multimedia, and it's labeled Scrollplay, and then the title of whatever episode is out at the time. Thank you all for watching Scrollplay this season. It's been a crazy experience for me. I've never done anything like this, and I'm definitely still learning, and I think the show has a lot of potential to be even better than it is now. So if you really love me, you will check out the poll. It's in the description, and it's pretty short, and polls are fun. Come on, polls are fun to do, and I really want to know what you guys think. The answers that I get will have real effects on Scrollplay Season 2. So be sure to like and subscribe, and until I see you guys again, keep role-playing. This is the Human Floyd, signing off. Peace.
I'm sorry, I forget that, like, I shouldn't be talking about those things around a lady.
I don't think you've ever forgotten that.